Hey there, Tamir from Fibonaccis-Traders.com here with the daily market recap for Thursday, December 8th. Before we start, let's talk about keys takeaway from 2022 and what we are going to do in terms of preparation in trading for the next year. The next year is just around the corner. 2023 is here, if you like it or not. 2022 is over, so start prepare for the next year. My key takeaways from 2022: no FOMO, there is always another trade. Compound small wins. No green to red trade. This one is a hard one. No green to red, because once we put on a trade, anything can happen. Once we put on a trade, the trade can go red in the first second, the first minute. But once we are in the green zone, this is our place to raise the stop loss, and no green to red trades. No overtrading. Overtrading is one of the biggest sins traders have. So no overtrading. More patience. Don't force trades. Nothing good will come out. These two, no overtrading and more patience, are the same thing. Listening to myself and act according my plan and avoid the noise. We are surrounded by data and noise and news all over the media, social media, YouTube, Twitter, all around. We can follow, we can learn. It's good to learn, but in the end, it's all noise. We need to make our own strategy, our own plan, and follow it. So, hit the like, subscribe, share your key takeaways from 2022, and let's dig in the charts. SPY daily chart. We can see that the 393 area is holding as a strong support on the short term. Let's see what tomorrow we have. PPI report. For some reason, PPI report became something that can move the market beyond my understanding, but it is what it is. So pay attention to the 393 area. We might get a bounce towards the 400, or we can go down and filling this gap here. Eyes on the market, eyes on the news, follow price and use levels to manage the risk. QQQ, same thing. 280 is holding as support because it was strong resistance throughout 2022. Now it's support. IWM continuing to move sideways. Two consecutive dojis. 180, 178 is holding. Let's see if this double top scenario will validate, and if it will validate, of course it's to the downside. Closing this gap here. This gap is still open. It's a small one, but it's still open. 178 needs to hold. Dow Jones also basically moving sideways on the 335 level. So let's see what tomorrow will bring. VIX now back inside this long-term uptrend channel that holds the higher lows since July of 2021. Back inside. Let's see if we can reach the 24 area and reversal to the downside. Dollar index, as we can see, continuing inside this downtrend channel. 104 needs to hold, otherwise we will see the 102 dollar index going down, VIX going down, it's good for the markets. Let's see the US 10-year yield trying to get back above the 350 area. For now, we have this downtrend channel. So this is also a good sign for the markets overall. We need the US 10-year also to continue to the downside and maybe even reach the 310 area before the next bounce up. Let's see XLE breaking below the 87 area. Doji bounced back yesterday during hours. Sorry, today. I'm in China, so for me it's yesterday. Bounced back, retested it as a resistance and back down. Now the 83 area is the next test for bears and for bulls. Let's see if this one will hold, because if we look left, it's a very important level of resistance and now it will act as support. SMH holding, managing to hold above the 214 area and bouncing back up. Maybe we will see the 230 back again, but as you can see, major chop move on the SMH since earlier November, just moving sideways, bouncing up and down between the 214 and the 230 area. So if you want to go long, I would wait for a break above the 230. Short, wait for a break above the 240, below the 214. If this one will break to the downside, we have this gap here at the 197. So take this under consideration. Crude oil holding the 72 area, but overall flash to the downside since June 22. It was on the 120 area, now it's in the 72, breaking down another 61, 62 area will be next in my opinion. And of course, everything I say in this video or in general on my channel is my opinion only, not advised to take any trade or investing of any kind. Always do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, WhatsApp groups, Twitter, paid or free services. Always do your own due diligence. AMD holding the 68 area. Now let's see if we can get a bounce back above the 73, or AMD will break to the downside, retesting this blue trend line that holds the higher lows since earlier October. NVDA strong, the strongest semiconductor, holding inside this channel, holding this trend line here back to the 172. Let's see now if we can get a break above the 172 and finally getting a break above this area. If we look left, this area holds as a strong resistance for the higher highs since September earlier this year. So eyes on this area as a strong resistance. If this area will break to the upside, we can assume with high probability that 195 will be next. Why this area? Because by looking left, we can see that this area will act as a strong resistance once again, because throughout August and June this year, it was a strong resistance for price action. Apple trying to bounce back off the 140 area. Nothing special on Apple, still in a downtrend consolidation. We have here 2 weeks of basically nothing. Tesla, as we said several videos ago, once price hit this trend line and got rejected to the downside, we said that most probably this gap here will get filled, and here we are. This gap closed, and now we have a doji off the 168 area. So now let's see where price will take us. Can we get a bounce towards this trend line here, and maybe another attempt to break to the upside? If this will validate, we can assume that 192 will be the next test for bulls. Microsoft, same as Apple, basically moving sideways since earlier November, holding above the 241. Nothing special. We do have here a very short term higher lows, consolidation, tight price range. So patience on Microsoft. Long, once we will get at least a week or two above this trend line here, because if we look left, this trend line is acting as a strong resistance for price action, and during August earlier this year, price action tried to break up and above and made some kind of an island here and back down. So next time it will break up and above, I will wait for at least 1 week for Microsoft to hang above the blue trend line and also above the 260 area. If the green trend line will fail to hold as support, we have this gap here that will get filled. Meta, as we can see, blue trend line acting as a strong resistance for price action. We might get the same price action here as we saw earlier this year, because this price action here and here are very similar. Only by looking left we can identify price action similarity and resistance and support. So let's see where Meta is taking us. Amazon filling the gap. Now doji and trend reversal signal, we might get a bounce. As you can see, Fibonacci gives us perfect support and resistance areas for price action to the downside, to the upside. Now let's see, bouncing up and above the 91 area towards the 96. We have another trend line here. We can do it also from here. So let's see if this trend line will act as a resistance, and if price action will break up and above this trend line, we can assume that 97, 96 area will be next, because it was a significant support and resistance area for price action, and we need to follow price and use trend lines and Fibonacci levels to the upside or to the downside to manage our risk. So once again, key takeaways from 2022. Let me know in the comments below what are your key takeaways and what are you doing to prepare for 2023. I hope you find this video helpful. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and until the next video, do good things.